10 Premium Coffee Beans 2026. What actually tastes better? TCC. You've been drinking coffee your whole life, thinking you know what good coffee tastes like. You don't. Not yet. Because somewhere between a Thai elephant's digestive system and a 1,000-year-old Yemeni rooftop, the definition of great coffee gets completely rewritten. Here are 10 premium coffee beans in 2026 that will genuinely change what you expect from your cup. Number 10, Black Ivory Coffee. Imagine paying more per gram for your morning coffee than you would for silver. That's not an exaggeration, that's Black Ivory. Thai Arabica cherries are fed to elephants, and during digestion, their stomach enzymes break down the proteins responsible for bitterness. What comes out, literally, is collected, washed, sun-dried, and roasted in tiny batches. The result is a chocolate and spice cup so smooth it barely registers as coffee. Here's the math that'll genuinely mess with your head. It takes roughly 33 kilograms of coffee cherries to produce a single kilogram of finished product because of how inefficient the recovery process is. That number alone explains the price. That number alone should tell you this isn't something you casually pick up at a grocery store. Number 9, Ethiopian Heirloom Coffee. Most people have no idea that when they drink a specialty Ethiopian blend, they might be tasting genetics that no scientist has fully cataloged yet. Ethiopia's coffee forests still contain wild Arabica varieties growing completely undocumented, untouched by modern breeding programs. Ethiopian Heirloom isn't one coffee, it's an entire universe of ancient native varieties, many of them forest grown or semi-wild, harvested using methods passed down across generations. Fruit forward, intensely aromatic, wildly diverse cup to cup. You could drink it 10 times from 10 different farms and get 10 genuinely different experiences. Think of it less as a single product and more as a living archive of where all coffee originally came from and where a lot of its future is still being quietly written. Number 8, Kona Coffee. Here's something the label won't tell you. Most things sold as Kona coffee contain only a fraction of the real thing, legally blended down to as little as 10% actual Kona, with cheaper beans filling the rest of the bag. It's one of the most widespread quiet scams in premium coffee. Genuine 100% Kona is a completely different conversation. Grown on the volcanic slopes of Hawaii's Big Island, where sunny mornings give way to naturally cloudy afternoons in what is almost a textbook perfect growing cycle, these beans develop a naturally sweet, buttery, nutty flavor with a finish that's exceptionally clean. The volcanic mineral content in the soil contributes something to the cup that is genuinely difficult to replicate anywhere else on earth. If you've only ever had a Kona blend, you haven't actually had Kona. Number 7, Kopi Luwak. It started as an accident. During Dutch colonial rule in Indonesia, farmers who weren't permitted to harvest coffee for personal use noticed wild civets eating ripe coffee cherries in the fields. The beans passed through digestion completely intact. Out of desperation or curiosity, depending on who's telling the story, someone collected them, cleaned them, roasted them, and made a cup. And it was good. The civet's digestive enzymes strip away the proteins responsible for bitterness and acidity, leaving behind an earthy, chocolatey depth that conventional processing simply cannot replicate. What started as a colonial-era workaround became one of the most talked about luxury coffees in the world. One important note, though, ethical sourcing matters enormously here. Wild-sourced Kopi Luwak is a genuine article. Farm civet operations are a different and far more troubling story, and worth looking into carefully before you spend the money. Number 6, Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee. Some coffees excite you, and some coffees settle you. Blue Mountain is firmly the second kind, and it does that job better than almost anything else on this list. Grown slowly in Jamaica's cool, mist-covered mountains, the extended maturation period builds sweetness and density into the bean in a way that faster-grown coffee simply doesn't achieve. What ends up in the cup is creamy, low bitterness, mild acidity, the kind of effortlessly balanced coffee that doesn't demand anything from you. It's just good, clean, and consistent. The name is legally protected by strict geographic certification. Only beans grown within the officially designated Blue Mountain zone can carry that label, which is why authentic versions are limited and why a lot of what gets sold under that name deserves serious scrutiny before you buy. Number 5, Yemenia Coffee. While the rest of the coffee world chases the next experimental fermentation trend, Yemen has been doing things the same way for centuries and quietly producing something extraordinary. Yemenia is a rare heirloom varietal grown on ancient terrace mountain farms, sun-dried on rooftops the traditional way, and believed by coffee historians to carry some of the oldest surviving Arabica genetics anywhere on earth. The flavor is wine-like and deeply complex, naturally sweet with a layered fruit character that builds as the cup cools. Specialty roasters have been quietly losing their minds over this one for the past couple of years. The wider market is only now catching up, which means right now is actually a good time to pay attention to it before the price reflects the hype it's about to receive. Number 4, Ethiopian Yirgacheffe Coffee. If someone told you a coffee could taste like bergamot, lemon zest, and jasmine blossoms simultaneously, you'd probably assume they were either lying or describing a tea. Try a properly washed Yirgacheffe and then get back to them. From the highlands of southern Ethiopia, grown by smallholder farmers at a high elevation, Yirgacheffe produces one of the most immediately recognizable flavor profiles in all of specialty coffee. Citrus brightness, tea-like body, a floral aroma so distinct it almost seems engineered. Natural, processed versions push harder into intense berry sweetness. Either way, this is the coffee that converts people, the cup that takes someone who simply drinks coffee and turns them into someone who actually thinks about it. Ethiopia is widely considered the birthplace of coffee itself, and Yirgacheffe is probably the clearest argument for why that origin still matters. Number 3, Panama Geisha coffee. It doesn't taste like coffee. That is the most honest thing you can say about it, and somehow it is also the highest compliment the coffee world knows how to give. Panama Geisha, grown in the volcanic highlands of Bokate and Volcan, hand-picked at precise peak ripeness, slow roasted light enough to protect its delicate chemical compounds, produces a cup that experienced drinkers consistently compare to fine tea or high-end perfume rather than anything that comes out of a standard coffee setup. Jasmine, bergamot, a clean, lingering finish with zero bitterness to speak of. It wins global competitions with a regularity that has stopped surprising anyone. It commands auction prices that make serious buyers pause before committing, and then they taste it and the hesitation disappears completely. This is the coffee that permanently resets your expectations, not by overwhelming you, but by showing you how refined and precise a single cup can actually be when everything from soil to roast is handled with that level of intention. Number 2, Sidra coffee. Nobody was asking for a coffee that could rival Geisha. Geisha was already the ceiling, and then Sidra quietly showed up and started making baristas nervous in the best possible way. Grown primarily in Ecuador and Colombia at high elevations, Sidra carries that same floral elegance that made Geisha the benchmark, but brings more body, more fruit intensity, and a texture that feels more substantial in the cup. Producers frequently pair it with experimental processing methods like anaerobic fermentation or thermal shock to push the flavor profile even further into unusual, competition-worthy territory. The production volumes are tiny, the prices are climbing, and the specialty coffee world is having an ongoing argument about whether this is genuinely the next Geisha or just an exciting supporting act. Either way, it belongs on your radar now, before that argument gets settled. Number 1, Hacienda La Esmeralda Geisha. In 2004, a farm in Bokate, Panama, entered a competition with a variety most of the judges had never encountered before. It won, then it won the following year again, then it started breaking auction price records that the specialty coffee industry had no prior reference point for. That farm was Hacienda La Esmeralda, and what it effectively did was introduce Geisha coffee to a global audience that had no framework to process what they were tasting. Grown at extreme elevations under carefully managed shade conditions, processed with the kind of precision that treats coffee more like winemaking than agriculture, La Esmeralda Geisha became the benchmark luxury coffee, the one that every other high-end bean gets quietly measured against. When people talk about the moment specialty coffee stopped being a niche hobby and became something genuinely serious, this farm and this competition are almost always where that conversation begins.